From the top of the Tower Studios, 76 floors above Lake Washington, this is Seafair Stories. Real conversations, local legends, and behind-the-scenes moments from Seattle's favorite summer tradition. Because Seafair isn't just a festival, it's a way of life. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Emily Cantrell, President and CEO of Seattle Charitable Foundation. Today, we're talking with Tom Lether, President of the Seafair Pirates. And by day, he's a successful attorney, but little would you know if you saw him in the office, he's all in on the pirate life. Tom, welcome to Seafair Stories.
Thank you, Emily. I appreciate it. It's nice to be here.
So let's start at the very beginning.
Sure.
Who are the Seafair Pirates? When were they formed? And why?
Okay. Well, the Seafair Pirates are a fraternal organization in Seattle. We are a charitable organization. We do a lot of different activities in and around the city and through the Northwest. To put it into context, how we started, post-World War II, kind of put yourself in that mindset of 1949, you had a bunch of guys who belonged to what was called the Washington State Press Club. And they were asked by boosters in the city of Seattle to help put together and promote a summertime event in Seattle. These folks, business owners, community leaders, wanted to have a summer event. And they went to the Pirates, went to the press club and said, hey, how can you guys help us promote this and start it? So starting in 1949, we started to build something that became Seafair and led to the very first Seafair in 1950. So that was our start. And we've been participating now. This will be our 76th year participating with Seafair and making it happen.
So Pirates came before Seafair.
We did. We were here first. We helped start it, we helped promote it, and we've been a partner and helping with Seafair since.
Well, thank you for everything that you've done, and Seafair, we love our Pirates.
Thank you very much. We love you guys too.
Most people know the Pirates for storming Alki Beach, as they just did, every summer for the Seafair Pirates Landing and your wild antics. But there is a lot more to the story. So who are the Pirates and what do you do year-round?
We're very busy year-round. Of course, Seafair is our big time of the year, but we do stuff 12 months a year. And it varies depending on the part of, what time of the year it is. But we do parades continuously throughout the season. We really kind of start our year with St. Patrick's Day, which is something we do with the Irish Society here in downtown Seattle. And from there, we do things through the spring and through the summer, of course, Seafair, and then into the fall. And then towards the holiday season, our focus shifts a little bit more to philanthropic stuff, charitable stuff. Of course, with the holidays, that's a big part of what we do that time of the year. So yeah, very busy all year round, doing a lot of different things. A lot of parades, but also a lot of visits, going to different facilities to do social visits and things of that nature.
When I watched the last Pirates Landing, I was really impressed that the Pirates stayed around until every single child there who wanted to talk to you had a chance. And seeing the smiles on these children's faces, and adults too, of course. But how does that feel?
Oh, that's the best. We love the kids. It's really the best. And, we're fortunate enough to make memories for a lot of kids. And sometimes, you'll have the kids who are afraid of the pirates, the noise and the swords and everything. And watching them go from being, afraid and hiding behind their parents to coming out of their shell a little bit, getting a coin, getting some stickers, and having them smile is so rewarding. And then, seeing those same kids grow over the years, I've seen kids who were little bitty kids, one year, the next year they show up at a parade and they've drawn a picture of me and they'll give me a picture, and then 5 years goes by and all of a sudden they're big kids. So seeing them grow and develop is really, really rewarding. Lots of fun. And we have stories, of course, from older folks who are, 60, 70 years old who remember being kids and having experiences with the Pirates and sharing those experiences is really special.
Do you remember your first experience with the Pirates?
As a pirate, I certainly do.
When you were younger, were you a fan of the Pirates?
I was certainly a fan of the Pirates, and I do remember them, of course, along with all the other Seafair things that happened, right? Being out on the lake with the Blue Angels and the Hydros and all of that. Certainly the Seafair Pirates were a big part of it. I think the first thing I recalled about the Seafair Pirates as being younger is just hearing the siren, hearing the duck.
Oh, yes.
No, you can't miss that when you live in Seattle.
The cannon.
So, yeah.
Gotta love the cannon.
Yeah, the cannon's fun. The cannon is a lot of fun.
How many members are in your crew right now?
Active members were a little under 50, so a pretty strong group. Always looking for more.
Well, I checked out the application online. It is a long application. Talk to us about the process.
We're pretty careful about who we bring in. We screen pretty thoroughly, but what we're really looking for is commitment. Somebody who's really willing to commit the time, the energy, the spirit. Somebody who wants to sing songs and go carousing and have fun, but also go out and do good work in the community. So to make sure we got the right people, we have a pretty thorough process of vetting. So there is obviously the questionnaire, and you can go online if anyone's interested. You go online to our webpage. You'll see an online application. You submit the application, you're contacted, then you're typically brought in for an interview, and then sometimes a meeting with a couple of the senior members to kind of make sure it's a good fit, and then you're asked to participate and be a candidate. And you become a candidate, you serve for a year as a candidate, and then you have the opportunity to be a full member.
Do you think women will ever be able to become a pirate?
That issue comes up. We really do believe in it being a fraternal organization. A lot of that's just the tradition. That's how it has been since 1949. So I wouldn't expect that to happen. But I'll never say never.
I had to ask.
Yeah, it's a fair question. Fair question.
So you are now president. How does one become president of the Pirates?
We have elections every fall, or more late November. We're voted in by the members. So the members do a vote, and then the term runs beginning the following January 1st. So it's an election process. You become president or you become any officer because A, you're willing to serve, you have the time to serve, and you're willing to serve, and just vote of the club.
And there's also a captain, and I hear
Correct.
the captain gets to have all the fun and cause all the trouble, and then president's more serious. Is that true?
Not necessarily true.
Okay.
Being a captain is a lot of work. A lot of work. Now, some captains have more fun than others. Some captains work harder than others, but it's a lot of work. It truly is. But they typically do have a little more freedom, should I say, a little more fun than the elected officers. Yeah.
Okay. And the process for choosing a captain, I'm guessing it's similar to
Correct.
the president? Okay.
Correct. Captains are voted in. Someone can only be a captain once in their life. It's a one-time opportunity. So it's also a one-year commitment. Officers can, be officers multiple years if that's how it works out. But they're elected just like an officer is. Yeah.
And captains wear red?
Correct.
Is that right? So that's how you can spot them at a parade or
Correct.
event? Okay.
There's always two distinctive colors. There's red, which is captain. Red hat, red feathers, red coat, that's the captain. The Davy Jones, who sits up next to the captain on the duck, is always going to be in green. Green coat, green hat.
And you're red today. Is this a nice blazer that happens to be red, or is there significance?
No,
with
this
red?
is our non-pirate official uniform that we would wear to meetings and in situations where we're not out on an operation.
Okay, I like it. Well, you've talked about the parades, the community visits, everything that you do 12 months out of the year. The Pirates are everywhere. Do you have a favorite event or tradition out of all those?
That's a tough question. There's some that really stand out. Landing, of course, is always a big event at Alki. Seafair starts off our season. I really love the Chinatown Parade as far as local parades. The International District's fantastic. Just that community is so supportive and so great, and the venue is fantastic. We love that event. Any of the smaller parades, community parades, like something in Magnolia, that's a great little parade. But, the smaller town parades, we're doing this weekend Bothell for 4th of July. Those are fantastic. The communities really get behind us. So I really love those events. But also the philanthropy that we do is really special. Some of the things we do in that direction is really rewarding. We haven't done it, unfortunately, since COVID, but being able to go to Children's Hospital, Ronald McDonald House, those things are really fantastic. Or the assisted living facilities, really, really cool to go do that.
And so many people, I feel like they don't know that all that happens. So I'm glad you're taking some time to tell us all about it.
Oh, it's really rewarding. And we do as much of that as we do parades.
That's impressive. And the Pirates have a strong sense of brotherhood, as you've talked about, but also strong community mission. What is life like behind the scenes?
Pandemonium sometimes. It can get a little crazy. It's herding cats, especially for me as the president or for the captain. It's, there's a lot of personalities. Most of the pirates have big personalities. So, but it's a lot of fun. It is a real brotherhood, and the diversity in the group makes it even more special. We have such different types of guys involved with so many different backgrounds. And to take that and form a brotherhood that's truly a bunch of guys that really love each other is really special. So a lot of fun, a lot of pandemonium, a lot of craziness, a lot of stories that I won't repeat, and just a lot of brotherhood.
And how does it feel to be the leader of all that?
Honored, absolutely honored. To have the opportunity, to be in this position with an organization that's such a part of this community for so long and has so many traditions and so much history. Absolutely honored to do it.
And if there's anyone out there listening who says, I want to be a pirate, what are the first steps that they should be taking?
Definitely go online. Take a look at, what we do. If you can make it out to an event, that's great. That'll give you a wonderful sense of, what we do. So if you can make it out to see us, that's awesome. If you do see us and you're at an event, come up and talk to us. We're more than happy to introduce you to some people, get you maybe a ride on the duck if that's what you want to do. And then, after you kind of make sure it's for you and understand the commitment and that you want to actually do it, send in that application and we'll get a hold of you.
And before we end, speaking of the duck, will you tell us about the duck? How did the duck come to be?
Great question. The duck is a vintage vehicle. They were used during World War II as amphibious assault vehicles. We acquired, and I believe our duck was built in the kind of mid to early 40s. We acquired the duck as a parade vehicle, my recollection, 1950-something. And then we took it, modified it from its usual form. And people may remember ducks from Ride the Ducks in Seattle, for example. We modified it and turned it into a pirate ship. And no, it doesn't float. Everybody will ask us, do you take that in the lake? No, we don't take it in the lake. It doesn't go in the lake. So we modified it, and it's been our parade vehicle ever since.
That's great. I feel like there's just so much to the Pirates that we haven't talked about. Is there anything that you just wish people would know, or if there's a misconception that you wish that you could correct?
Sure, absolutely. I think, sometimes that people think, hey, these are guys just out on the town drinking, carousing, womanizing, getting into mischief. Not saying that doesn't happen. When we have our fun, but the focus really is about a group of committed individuals, a real brotherhood, trying to do good in the community and trying to build up Seattle. Just like in 1949 when we started, we wanted to build up Seattle. We're still trying to do that. And, again, doing the charitable things is a big, huge part of that. I shout out to Friendship Adventures. I want to mention them, the things that they do. We're really active with that group. That's a huge part of it. But mostly it is just really about a commitment to the community.
Well, thank you so much for being such a big part of Seafair and the community. We really appreciate you and everything that you do.
Well, thanks, Emily. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great Seafair.
You've been listening to Seafair Stories, coming to you from the Top of the Tower studios, overlooking the waters and parks where the magic happens. Stay tuned for more episodes all year long as we introduce you to the people, the passions, and the pulse behind Seattle's most iconic summer celebration. Thanks to our producer and editor, Evan Slaybaugh. We'll see you next time.